Welcome back to the Seniors Health Podcast, where modern medicine meets time-tested wisdom to help you stay sharp, resilient, and thriving after 60. Today's episode is one I consider critical because it's not about what you're forgetting, but what might be quietly making you forget. That's right, we're taking a hard look inside the supplement cabinet. If you've ever felt mentally foggy, emotionally flat, or had trouble with recall, even though you're trying to do everything right, you're not alone. The truth is, many popular supplements marketed for brain health may actually be sabotaging it, and today we're naming 4 of the most problematic ones and revealing 4 science-backed alternatives that can actually help support clarity, focus, and long-term memory. Joining me today is one of the most respected voices in integrative neurology. He's treated thousands of patients worldwide, authored dozens of papers on brain aging, and he's here today to help you make smarter choices. Please welcome Dr. Arjun Goopta.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. It's a pleasure to be here. And I agree, this conversation is overdue. Too often, well-meaning people fall into the trap of thinking that more equals better when it comes to supplements. But the truth is, certain formulas, especially in older adults, can have the opposite effect. They interfere with how the brain communicates, metabolizes nutrients, or even detoxifies. And we're going to break that down clearly today.
That's powerful, doctor. And I'll be honest, I've personally recommended some of these in the past, thinking they were helpful, but the science evolves. Let's start from the top. What's the first supplement you now advise seniors to approach with caution?
The first one is synthetic B6, particularly in high doses. I see it constantly in multivitamins, brain boosters, and energy blends. While B6 itself is crucial for neurotransmitter production, the form matters deeply. Pyridoxine hydrochloride, the synthetic version, can accumulate in older bodies. Our detox systems slow down with age, and that buildup can irritate the nervous system.
So this isn't about B6 being bad, it's about how it's processed.
Exactly. I had a 69-year-old patient who came to me convinced he was developing neuropathy. His fingers tingled constantly, and his reflexes had dulled. Turned out he was taking 2 cognitive support supplements, each with 100 milligrams of synthetic B6. Once we pulled him off and replaced it with the bioactive form P5P, or pyridoxal 5-phosphate, the symptoms resolved within weeks.
That's a major lesson. You think you're helping your brain, but if the form isn't right or the dose is too high, it can be doing the opposite. Let's keep the momentum going. What's number 2?
Ginkgo biloba, specifically the hyper-concentrated extract forms you find in many Western supplements. It's marketed for circulation and memory support, but the way it's processed removes the natural balance the plant had in traditional medicine.
So the plant itself is fine, but the lab version is a different story?
Right. In traditional Chinese medicine, ginkgo was brewed as a mild tea. Today's capsules can be 25 to 50 times more potent, with added ginkgolic acids and standardized flavonoids that can overstimulate older brains. I had a patient who developed severe insomnia and blood pressure fluctuations, and it turned out the only new variable in his routine was a focus and memory formula with concentrated ginkgo extract.
Wow. And the worst part is it's everywhere, sold over the counter like candy.
Exactly. If someone wants gentle circulation support, I steer them toward whole food options. Beets, hawthorn, even low-dose cocoa flavonols. Or, if they do use ginkgo, it should be in its traditional tea form and under medical guidance.
This one might ruffle feathers. Melatonin.
Yes, and let me be clear, I'm not against melatonin entirely. I'm against its misuse. Melatonin is a hormone, not just a sleep aid. The problem is, many seniors take 5 to 10 milligrams daily, believing it's safe because it's natural. But that much melatonin disrupts your circadian rhythm instead of balancing it.
So even if you fall asleep, your brain may still be out of sync?
Precisely. I had an 81-year-old woman who complained of daytime fatigue and evening anxiety. She'd been taking 10 milligrams of melatonin every night for 6 months. Once we tapered her down and supported natural melatonin production through light therapy and diet, her energy and mood dramatically improved.
So small doses like 0.3 to 0.5 milligrams and only as needed?
Exactly. And ideally, not as a daily crutch. Instead, dim lights in the evening, get natural sunlight early in the day, and eat foods rich in tryptophan, like pumpkin seeds or turkey. That's how you nudge your internal clock to work for you.
Okay, great. And what about the 4th one?
Iron, when taken without blood work. This one is especially misunderstood. People assume fatigue means they're anemic, but in older adults, Especially postmenopausal women and aging men, iron tends to accumulate. That excess becomes inflammatory and even neurotoxic.
So too much iron can actually damage brain tissue?
Yes, there's growing evidence linking high brain iron levels to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. I had a retired engineer in his mid-70s, sharp as a tack but suddenly foggy and fatigued. His primary doc had prescribed an iron supplement just in case. Turns out his ferritin was over 300. We stopped the supplement, introduced polyphenol-rich foods like green tea and turmeric, and within weeks his clarity came roaring back.
That's eye-opening. So unless someone has proven iron deficiency anemia, they should be cautious?
Exactly. Always test first. Ferritin, hemoglobin, and iron saturation. Guesswork doesn't cut it with the brain.
That's a strong set of warnings, doctor. But here's the part I'm excited for. What to take instead. In the second half, we'll break down 4 safe, powerful alternatives that actually help the aging brain thrive.
Absolutely. And every one of them is backed by research, tradition, and real-world results. Let's bring clarity back naturally.
Welcome back to the Seniors Health Podcast. If you're just joining us, we just revealed 4 common supplements that could be undermining your brain after 60. Now we're flipping the script. It's time to talk solutions, 4 alternatives that actually nourish the brain, not just stimulate it. So Dr. Goopta, what's the first one?
Let's start with magnesium l-threonate. This isn't your average magnesium. It's specifically designed to cross the blood-brain barrier. That means it actually reaches the neurons and helps repair synaptic connections.
So this is more than just helping with sleep or muscle cramps.
Far more. Most magnesium supplements like oxide or citrate stay in the gut, but l-threonate targets the brain. I had a 74-year-old patient, a former teacher, who struggled with word recall and names. After 8 weeks on magnesium l-threonate, her verbal fluency noticeably improved. Her mood stabilized too. She became less anxious and more present.
That's remarkable. How much should someone take?
Around 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams per day, typically in divided doses. And consistency is key. This isn't a one-night miracle, but a long-term builder.
Okay, and what's next on your list?
Phosphatidylcholine, or PC. While phosphatidylserine gets a lot of love, and it's still great, PC is another essential fat that forms the structure of every brain cell. But here's the twist. It also helps the liver detoxify estrogen byproducts and other neurotoxins, which can build up as we age.
So this one's doing double duty, cleansing and rebuilding?
Exactly. I had a retired nurse in her late 60s who reported mental slowness and eye strain. We added PC alongside omega-3s, and not only did her focus return, but her dry eye symptoms improved too. The phospholipids help stabilize cell membranes throughout the nervous system.
That's fascinating, because I don't hear PC talked about all that often.
It flies under the radar. But 300 to 600 milligrams daily, preferably in sunflower lecithin form, can make a noticeable difference, especially when taken in the morning.
All right, number 3. I'm hoping this one's a little more botanical.
You got it. Let's talk Bacopa monnieri, an Ayurvedic herb long used to sharpen intellect and calm the nervous system. Unlike stimulants, Bacopa works gently and gradually. It enhances memory formation, not just alertness.
That's interesting. I always assumed herbs like this were just hype, but I've read some of the newer studies. The data is legit.
It is. One randomized trial showed improvements in memory retention and learning speed in adults over 65 within 12 weeks. Bacopa also modulates dopamine and serotonin levels, which helps emotional resilience. One of my patients called it her focus without the jitters capsule.
Is there a catch? Side effects? Interactions?
If taken in the right dose, about 300 milligrams of a standardized extract, it's generally safe. Avoid pairing it with sedatives or strong antidepressants unless under supervision. And like with all adaptogens, give it time. The benefits build with daily use.
And finally, the cornerstone. Omega-3s?
Yes, but with a clear focus on DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. While EPA gets attention for inflammation, it's DHA that makes up the structure of your brain's gray matter. It's literally the building block of memory.
I've read those studies linking DHA levels to brain volume. The higher the DHA level, the less brain shrinkage with age.
Correct. In fact, low DHA correlates with both cognitive decline and mood disorders. I had a 77-year-old jazz pianist whose memory for chord transitions was slipping. He was a vegetarian, so we added 800 milligrams of plant-based DHA from algae oil, and soon after his ability to play came back. He could follow improvisations easily once again.
That's amazing. And plant-based options, which have become very popular in recent years, are finally catching up in quality.
They are. For omnivores, I still recommend cold water fish like sardines or mackerel. But whether from marine or algae sources, the key is 600 to 1000 milligrams DHA per day. And always make sure you're choosing a reputable brand to ensure purity, because no one needs oxidized oil near their neurons.
So there you have it. 4 gentle, effective ways to support memory, clarity, and emotional strength without overstimulating or overwhelming the brain.
Exactly. Aging isn't about decline. It's about recalibration. Your brain is still adapting. You just have to give it the right tools and stop getting in its way.
And that's the heart of this episode. Learning to support the brain's natural rhythms, not override them. If you've been feeling mentally dull or emotionally flat, maybe it's not age. It could be what's in your supplement cabinet. Take inventory, swap smart, and always work with a qualified practitioner before making big changes.
Your clarity is still possible, but it requires curiosity, patience, and the courage to challenge the label on that pill bottle.
Thank you again, Dr. Gupta. And to everyone listening, share this with a friend who needs to hear it. This has been the Seniors Health Podcast. Stay sharp, stay curious. We'll see you next time.